Hello Bediddlers, how are you diddling? Last time we defeated Metal Man and Quick Man, and from Metal Man we gained the Metal Blade, a very good weapon that is strong against Flash Man, also pretty good against Wood Man, but for today's episode we're going to be focusing on Bubble Man. There he is, a chubby scuba diver. Here we are. Nice little waterfall background to get us in the mood for the shenanigans of this stage. And here's our first enemy, and it has already launched little frogs at us that do so little damage that they're a bit of a non-issue really. Unless of course they knock you into the waterfall pits below. Oh, don't mind if I do. Thank you. That was incredibly agreeable. Trouble with this platform here is you jump onto it and you can easily get hit by a little frog, so be careful there. These platforms here will drop when we jump on them, so be quick. There we go. And we're now going to descend into Bubble Man's lair with our next enemy, this shell-like enemy here. Doesn't do anything if we leave it alone. We hit it though, its shell will be flung off and it speeds up as well. But we can just... Any lives? Any lives? No, don't. Let's just leave them in peace. This bit here I recommend dropping exactly where this platform ends, otherwise you risk falling onto a shell enemy. Let's demonstrate the Metal Blade. Makes quick work of them. And the reason this weapon is so good is because you can fire in 8 directions and you get loads of it. And there's also a trick. So 1 bar is 4 metal blades. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. But if you do 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can actually get more for your metal blades, which is a little bit of a trick. Although you get so much of it as it is. Oh, thank you. And now here we are, we're now underwater. The key feature of underwater is that you jump much higher, and that's why the spikes are there, and they are, as ever, instant kill. So caution is always advised. These shrimp enemies here, you're thinking where are they coming from? They're actually being spat out by this large fish enemy here. But as you can see, the Metal Blade makes quick work of them. You use your regular buster, you might not take 3 hits. So, you know, if you want to make your life easier, take care of Metal Man first, but let's use the buster, even though it is quite a bit trickier. As you can see here, I'm getting hit quite a bit, but that's fine. Nothing we can't handle. We continue, and these look a bit like Metroids. If you don't have Metal Blades, you have to jump up and kill them, or you can just ignore them. Whereas if you have Metal Blades, which I certainly do, aim up and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, you gotta be really careful here. Jump too high and you are dead. But, you know, just requires a little bit of a precision button pressing, which I think we're all capable of, aren't we? Little spike drop there. And our next fish enemy, let's dispense with it quickly with the Metal Blades. There we are, dead already. Didn't even put up a fight. The Metal Blade is not as good against these frog enemies, for which I would recommend the Quick Boomerang. And they can often nab the little frogs on the rebound. There we go. And some weapon refill. That's very kind of you, thanks. We're now coming to the final stretch. These crab enemies will continue to drop down, but you can actually prevent them dropping down if you use the flash stopper. Ding! Like that. Be quick, be quick, be quick. And with that, there we go. Of course, when you use, I keep calling it the flash stopper, it's not called that, it's the time stopper. But when you use the time stopper, you use it all up, which is a flaw. So you can't use it a bit, switch it off, then use it again. So be careful with how you use it. Right, we've now come to Bubble Man. This fight is underwater, as you can see, and you know, spikes at the top, so I often get hit at the beginning of this boss. Spikes at the top so don't jump too high. His pattern is fairly simple. He will fire jets of water at you and then 3 bubbles. The bubbles do the most damage, so avoid those. The jets do 2 units of damage, so don't worry about those as much. When he lands from his swimming animation, that's when he'll shoot the jets of water. But keep him locked in this pattern, and you shouldn't have too much trouble with him. And yeah, that's all there is to say about our poor old Bubbleman here. I sort of like the net feature, the net effect in the background. That looks quite nice. Just a few more hits. I mean, his animation is quite ridiculous. He looks like an absolute fool. And he went down like an absolute fool as well. There we are. There's Bubbleman for you. Not a bad stage to start with, actually. You know, the stage maybe a little bit tricky, but the boss fight is quite simple. Even if you don't have his weakness, the metal blade. Quick good boomerang is also quite good against him. And for that we get the bubble lead, which I will demonstrate in the next stage. And not a great weapon, as we will see. Right. Water. A water-based weapon would be good against Heatman. So that's what we're going to go after next. And as you can see, he looks a little bit like a lighter, which I appreciate. And I quite like the aesthetic of this level. The music, not too bad, the music, not my favourite piece, but I like the sort of the red brickwork in the background, and I like the lava as well, as it flows along. Seem to be in some sort of underground somewhere, so I appreciate that. These plunger enemies, 5 hits with the Mega Buster, but if you have the Metal Blade, 1 hit. So yeah, this weapon is potentially a bit broken. You might think it's arguably too powerful, but you know, that's not going to stop me using it. But I'll try not to overuse it, although I can't guarantee that. Luck, as you could see there, I had invincibility frames, so because that lava is instant kill. But luckily, in this game, you get invincibility if you are knocked into an instant death obstacle. The Metal Blades is not good against everything, so these spine enemies, these springy enemies, does not hurt them at all. Whereas the quick boomerang will, and it's very cheap. If you don't have the quick boomerang, you can also use a bubble blade. 1, 2, 3. Don't mind if I do. And now we come to what this stage is most infamous for. The disappearing blocks. Remember those from Iceman's stage? Well, here they are again. Except potentially a little bit worse here. But at least here, you can see the pattern before you go. So observe it carefully, then go. But you might faff around for a bit there before you get it correct. Tellies. I think I mentioned that's what their name is. Again, the Metal Blades makes short work of them. In fact, if you don't have the Metal Blades or any other weapons, this section can be a little bit tricky because they keep appearing and they can occasionally corner you, as can happen at this point here. There we go, but not that time. These orange walls here, I mean they're all orange walls, but this one that looks different, we need a weapon to break that. We saw them in Flashman's stage as well. We don't have that weapon yet. Wait, you don't want to fall to your death, and that's going to be particularly important for this bit here. A disappearing block section over some lava. But you know what, I don't really fancy doing that. I'm just going to skip it with this thing here. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, I just don't really fancy that. Sorry. Yeah, never mind all that. Yeah. All fine. Whoa. I don't think so somehow. Do it again. Oh, alright, we'll do it again. We'll do it fair and square. Okay, so what you need to do here is observe 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then you've got to block up. 1, 2 blocks, block up, and then you continue along. So, of course, your first time doing this, you're going to mess this up a lot. You know, But I'd like to think that I've learnt the pattern now, but that doesn't mean I'll mess up regardless. Block, block, block up, there we go. Keep going along. Trust that the blocks will appear. It's a bit daunting, because obviously you can easily fall down here, and we don't want to do that. But yeah, this certainly takes practice. And 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, go across. There we go, we've done it. Goodness me, that's how you do that properly. But yeah, practice is advised. Basically, caution and practice. Get enough of that, you'll be fine. These are big armoured enemies, and if you jump when they land, then they will not shoot at you. Of course, a better way to deal with those things... Oh, actually, I can't do it. I'll show it off later. You can actually freeze them whilst they're mid-air and use the flash stopper and go under them. But with that, here we are at Heatman himself. Weak against the bubbles, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use the regular weapon, which does 2 damage to him. And as long as I can dodge his first attack, we might be able to... Well, I don't want to speak too soon. First attack. Yeah, we dodged it. Now, he has a very simple pattern. When you shoot him, he will light and dash towards you at varying speed. So I'm going to take this very, very carefully and keep away from him. Because you can shoot him immediately, but then he might catch you off guard and shoot you. But yeah, once he's dashed towards you, he will shoot those 3 flame pillars at you. They do an okay amount of damage, but it's Heatman's flame dash that you want to dodge. That does 8 units of damage, and that's very painful. Just patience is recommended, and you should be fine with this fight. A tricky stage, but the boss fight is not too bad at all. And there he goes. Quicker with the bubble lead, of course. His weakness. There we go. And for defeating Heatman, we get, it's called Atomic Fire. A weapon that you charge up. Although you only get 2 fully charged Atomic Fire blasts. So... Again, it's an iffy weapon, I think, but it can have its uses. And along with that weapon, we also get item 1, which is essentially a platforms that you can create, which will be mandatory later on. Come on! Right. There we are. And with that, that is the end of this part, and I very much look forward to seeing you in my next part. Thanks for watching.